All right.
Right.
Speaking about following your heart, we have made some choices, a little bit of choices from the soul. We decided that as this is the AniGains podcast, and all this bodybuilding talk may have tired out some of the weebs, so we've gone for animes that really speak to the heart. Our best 3x3 predictions. So what they basically are is pretty much our top 9 anime, just sort of all time anime that you could look at a glance and almost be like a mood board of the person that you're talking to. Anime that we feel like we love, represents us well, and something that we would recommend or rewatch again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so boys, without further ado, Kez, since you won, would you like to go through your 3x3 first?
I
And
shall.
then have us two judge it.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Give
hell
me
yeah,
a
man.
second.
I'm already predicting Naruto's going to be on there, like
Well,
straight away. Yeah.
Right. Can you
Yeah.
boys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty. So we've got our 3x3. So shall I start from 9 and then go to 1?
Yeah, work your way up.
Okay. So 9, we have got Steins Gate. It's actually one of the first anime that I saw. I'd say probably in the first 5. Really cool. Very different from any other anime I've watched. It's kind of like a time travel anime where you've got this scientist here who like assembles this group, and then one of them, I think it always dies, and then he's basically trying to figure out a way to go back and change the events to stop this person dying. But it's just a cool characters, cool concept, and they go quite in depth with the time travel side of things. And I quite
Very
like
in-depth.
the sci-fi aspect of it, aspect of it. So that's cool. Actually got a very good dub as well. The voice actor for this guy, I can't remember his name. He plays what's the guy from Mob Psycho? His teacher.
It's not Regan.
No,
Like a butchered English pronunciation.
Regan Grimes.
Yeah, Regan, mate. Bloody
Is it Reagan? Reagan? Oh, I don't know. But anyway, his teacher. It's the same voice actor, and he's one of the best English voice actors for anime. So very, very good. Number 8, Monster, Unreal. Obviously, we've talked about this before. Once again, very unique anime, very different from your stereotypical shonen anime, where it's kind of set more in the real world. It's set in Germany, where this doctor gets framed for a murder, and then it kind of follows him kind of being on the run, and then it also follows the story of this villain Johann, which is I think is he accused of shooting him in the head? Is it Johann?
Yeah.
And then he survives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool because it kind of builds the world and builds the story and loads of cool characters, and it incorporates different aspects of like politics, religion, relationships between people as well. So it's quite complex, and there's lots of different aspects of it. So where are you at the minute, Cam?
I think I'm about like I don't even know. I'm taking a little bit of a break from it, but from what I can remember, I think I'm about like halfway through, and like, but pretty much it does not feel like an anime, in the sense that like there's no anime tropes to the show at all.
Yep.
The only thing that is anime about the show is the art style, and even then, because where it's quite old, I don't even think it's really like very like moe, like at all. I would look at the show, and especially like when it gets onto some of the surrounding topics. It covers crime in some areas that I think are actually incredibly realistic. Like to the point where it's like there are scenes in this show which I think are quite hard to watch, but you can't look away from. I think the villain Johann is probably top 5 anime villains of all time. I'd probably say, like legitimately, like straight up. You don't need some crazy power system. It's the psychology behind it.
And he's not some comical, like crazy over the top villain like a lot of anime ones are. He's very cerebral and subtle
very
and
calculated,
complex.
and just like just a brutal, brilliant story of just an actual sociopath. I would really recommend, especially to any of the if you're trying to recommend an anime to somebody who's not really into anime
Into
or
it,
can't
yeah,
get into it,
100%,
that's a brilliant feeder episode because it's
definitely,
amazing concepts, that you're
yeah,
not going to find anywhere else. Yeah.
definitely. And then we have got Code Geass, so one of my favorites, absolutely fantastic. So obviously is it set in Japan or England?
I
Trying to
thought,
think.
I think
Yeah,
it's Japan.
yeah, but we've got an English character, Lelouch here,
Yeah.
who's like at like a private school, and he gets this power called a Geass, where when he looks at someone, he basically can make them do whatever he wants, and then basically kind of follows his story of how he's trying to like make the world a better place, and then you have these like elites who kind of like try to capture who this Zero is. Well, he calls himself Zero, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Kind of has like a pseudonym and kind of has a mask on, and they're trying to capture him. And then they have someone undercover who's actually becomes one of his friends as well, and it kind of just follows their story, and then bunch of the other kids at their school as well. So a lot of like politics involved. Obviously, like there's a mecha aspect to it as well, so that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
A lot of politics. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I like that aspect of it, where it makes it more complex. Where it's like there's not one obvious good guy and one obvious bad guy. There's aspects to both on all sides, so it makes it a bit more complex and well-rounded that way. So really, really cool anime, really cool.
I almost want to push back on one thing. So I loved Code Geass, and this is going to be spoiler alert. So if you've not seen Code Geass, and if you want to see Code Geass, then please plug your ears. But there is a part, I think it's at the end of season 1, I believe, where they basically come to a conclusion, and everything's all sunflowers and roses, and then the main character Lelouch accidentally uses his Geass on a character.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh God, I'm so glad it. I hope I could have said something crazy like kill all of these people," and then she goes and does it. He accidentally used his Geass, and I think it is the laziest. I saw that and I was like, bruh, are you, especially like comparing it to like how brilliant like all the previous sort of like conflicts were and how, the politics scaled up. Something so stupid. It felt like it was like a fan dub parody moment. I couldn't believe that the actual writers put that in the show. Yeah. And it actually lost me from that point, like genuinely.
I liked the ending. The ending was really cool. The way they wrote that. Obviously, like they painted him out to be this massive villain character, and he was kind of like twisted by power. And then you find out in the end he's actually doing it for a bigger purpose. And I thought that last episode was amazing. I think. We were talking about our most hated anime characters.
Yeah.
The girl with the glasses, Nina.
Yes.
Remember her? Yeah. Oh my!
Yeah.
I absolutely remember when she went on a rampage and started shooting at, was it Lelouch or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Awful.
I despise Nina. Yeah, one of the worst characters.
If you could write like an actual, purposefully like hateable character, I think there's some merit to that. I do think Code Geass is a good anime.
Very good.
To be honest. Yeah.
Okay, then we've actually got quite a similar anime, actually, Death Note, because I think you've got similar. Well. Light is a complete psychopath, so I think Lelouch is a bit more complex in that he wants to do good, but the way they act is quite maniacal, and in the same way, and they think they have a bit of a superiority and like a god complex. I think both of them have it.
Evil,
yeah, but I think obviously Light is extremely evil. And he thinks what he's doing is the right thing. He thinks he's like ridding the world of. Well, I think initially he has good reason. He wants to rid the world of any like wrongdoers, but eventually it's anyone who kind of comes in his path he sees as evil. So he will kill anyone who's like tries to stop him from doing what he's doing. But the story as a whole, it's like it was like my first like proper anime that I watched, and it gripped me from like the first 5 minutes. The way it's written in terms of like this character coming across this book, being like kind of seduced by its power, and then when you introduce the aspect of L, and you have these parallels between these two characters who have like a lot of similarities but maybe some differences as well, and they have that cat and mouse game where they're trying to basically catch each other, and then when they become friends as well. I just think it's so cool, and I love like the inner monologue that like Light has in his head at times when he's kind of thinking about what he's doing. It's very anime, but I love it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so cool, man. It's
does it
very
very
well
well.
written. I think it's actually an overhated show. I think because it's so popular, people like to rag on it and hate on it. Like I think it's actually brilliant. I think it's a really, really good anime.
Yeah,
Yes,
for
it
sure.
has flaws, and yes, it gets worse as after a certain episode.
Yeah.
But as a whole, like I could easily watch that again, like numerous times, because it's
Oh,
so watchable.
100%. I think
Yeah.
it really does. I think it's because it's technically counted as a shonen anime, but it's very very different from like
Yeah.
any of the anime that you're going to see in this list.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it does suspense and an art of showing but not telling in
Yep.
an incredible way. Yeah, I definitely think like the first 15 episodes
Hmm.
peak, like
Yeah.
actual peak.
Yeah.
Also, the soundtrack is
Amazing.
beautiful.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, so
So
cool,
so
man.
many like different good themes. You have like L's theme, you've got Light's
Yeah,
theme, um, and then a bunch of other ones as well. So very, very
yeah. The OST is insane.
yeah.
Like they popped on that. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Misa?
Oh, get me a girl like Misa, man, for
Oh,
real,
we
man.
literally worship you.
Oh, mate. Oh, mate. Like, I think genuinely, in terms of like characters in a show, fan fucking tastic. Such an awesome parallel to have between Light and
Yeah.
L as well.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, there is a lot of different characters in the show, and I think they don't oversaturate any one intelligent character. There's a lot of different
Yeah.
parallels and like a lot of individual, you know, like morality comes into
Yeah.
question a lot within the show.
Yeah.
And it just accentuates how awesome those two are. And yeah, I think she's an awesome character, in my opinion. I think
Yeah.
she's an icon. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right then, on to Naruto. So like in terms of like a special place in my heart, like this would be number one. But just because I know it has flaws, like I can't put it at number one just because of how flawed it can be. But in terms of like a show that I could go back to again and again, like it is Naruto, definitely. I love the story so much. I love the characters. Like from episode one, I got attached to the characters straight away. The whole aspect of the power scaling. They actually give time for the characters to grow initially. I think at the end they scaled them too quickly in terms of the powers, but initially, like they actually have struggles and failures like all the characters, and they become relatable. Even like side characters like Rock Lee and Gara, the way they tell characters backstories, it's so cool, and they give time to each of the characters, and they allow you to get to know the characters. Obviously the story is really cool as well. There's so many aspects, all with all the villages, and all the different missions, all the ninja within the villages as well. And obviously as you go on, it kind of expands upon the world a lot more, and you learn more about the powers and the backstory behind everything. And yeah, it's so cool. And in my opinion, it has the best anime villain group of all time, which is the Akatsuki.
Akatsuki, yeah.
So cool, man. So cool. But I cannot put it at number one just because of a lot of filler. And then there's a lot of flaws where they'll overdo flashbacks, in my opinion, where they'll do like a flashback of something that happened in the same episode. And I think there was literally like an episode where I saw the first 12 minutes of a 22-minute episode was a recap of the last episode. And I'm like, come on, man, like we do not need this. And then I think towards the end, I think after the pain arc, obviously there was like the fourth Ninja War arc, which was cool. I thought it dragged on for too long, and then the stuff after that with Kaguya and all that, I thought it was a bit silly, and didn't make that much sense. And so I think it's a little bit too long. They could have cut out a lot of the characters and a lot of the filler, I suppose. But as a whole, it holds a very, very special place in my heart.
Just to like, I don't want to like nitpick too much, but the picture that you've selected is the original Naruto. But are we saying Naruto Shippuden?
No. Okay, so I'm just saying Naruto as a whole series. But if I'm gonna
not
pick
including
one,
Boruto.
not including Boruto. But if I'm picking one, I'm gonna say Shippuden.
Okay, all right, Sam. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have to agree.
Yeah,
sure.
I thought Naruto versus Sasuke in Naruto was one of the peak fights. Remember at the end
Yes, I
of
do.
the original
I
narrative?
never forget.
That was
Yeah.
so cool.
Mm.
But yeah,
A lot of that's
as a whole,
nostalgia bias. Yeah.
yeah, as a whole, Shippuden better for sure. Okay, number 4, we have Vinland Saga.
Mm.
So good,
Mm.
so good, man. Obviously, it's a more recent anime, but just really cool and unique. Obviously, at first, it builds up to be like this revenge story where this kid has his dad killed by this guy, um, who you think you're gonna hate, and then you actually eventually like, okay, this guy has his own motivations, his own backstory, and you actually come to you don't love him, but you kind of like he's a cool character, very interesting, very complex. And then you see Thorfinn grow, and then he motivated by revenge and hatred, and also like gives a good like obviously it's not completely historically accurate, but it gives a good view of like England and like the Viking times and everything, and has a lot of like places that were like traditional Viking villages, so gives a lot of good history there, and then just shows like kind of how and it's good like they don't glorify the Viking way, and they show how like brutal it was,
Mm. And
and then
accurate
you can
of
yeah,
history.
and
Yeah.
yeah, they're very brutal and very like on the nose with it, which is good. I think then Thorfinn kind of has like second thoughts of whether that's like the life he wants to live, and then certain things happen where eventually you have like this complete 180 in the second season where yeah, basically it's Farmland Saga, and that was very risky. Like
Mm.
doing basically a whole season on a farm, like where you're used to these big battles and big hype scenes. But the way they painted the characters, the new characters with Einar, what's the girl called as well? I can't remember her name, but yeah, the
Oh,
way, um,
yeah. Matey Boy's
and
wife.
yeah, yeah. And then obviously the farm characters as well. Snake, he was cool. Yeah, all these cool characters, and then they just kind of show obviously Einar developing and Thorfinn growing and like finding his purpose in life. So cool, so full of like life lessons and yeah, man, incredible story, incredible story. So yeah, I have Vinland Saga at number 4.
Yeah. Awesome pick. I wouldn't
Yeah.
dispute that. I would only say, okay, I'm not going to say anything, but I would say Vinland Saga should be higher.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I would
Okay.
say so, honestly. Like, I think Vinland Saga, I think almost to like go back to like what the risk it took and how that risk paid off. In terms of rewatchability, you can rewatch that first season after seeing the second one with a completely different set of eyes.
Mhm.
And I think for that, mate, it's good. I actually feel like I've matured after watching Vinland Saga. It changed me
I
for real.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. And then I'm gonna go on to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Um, so on my anime list, I think this is like number 1 or 2 in terms of like top rated anime. I think it's so well rounded. It has absolutely everything you would want in a good TV show. Very good characters that you can connect with quite quickly. A cool backstory. Obviously, you have Edward Elric and Alfonso Elric, where you've got they kind of like did that transmuting where he transported his little brother's soul into like a robot's body, and then the story is them trying to like recover their original bodies. But then it develops into like a much bigger plot with lots of history, with like racism, with governments clashing, and then you've got like this big land, so the way they build the world is really cool. And then it kind of like challenges the way you think about certain characters as well. Like certain characters you think were villains turn out to have their own motivations and everything. So there's so many aspects that kind of make this a really cool story, and it's really cool. And the whole aspect of them trying to find these philosopher's stones to try to help reveal the body, and then you've got these homunculus as well, which are like these like evil villains that are based on the 7 deadly sins. So there's one like pride, greed, lust, all that stuff. So yeah, really cool. Have you boys seen Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
Yeah. Yeah, I like Full Metal. I think Full Metal's a great show. The thing is, I didn't grow up with Full Metal, and I think a lot of people who rate it, it was like, be honest with me, Kez. Is this one of your first 5 anime?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same with anybody that would put this in like their top 5 because
Yeah,
it's good,
Yeah.
but
I think it's.
is it
I could easily
peak?
watch that again. I think it's peak. I genuinely believe it is peak. Yeah.
I don't know. I think in a 9x9, I would agree it's peak, but it wouldn't make my 9x9.
Okay, fair enough.
Just
Another. Yeah. Sorry, go for it.
I don't know. I think it's got some. I don't like some of the side characters too much. I think there's some very powerful scenes in there, but yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't put it top 15.
Okay.
I think that's
Fair
just
enough.
better. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, another one that falls into a very similar category of this. One of the first anime that I watch is Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
So
If
yeah,
you guys
man,
didn't know
so
about that show, yeah, we just speak about it like every
Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
so good, man. So good.
Peak.
Really cool. Like best power scaling system. Really cool set of characters that you once again get attached to, and then their relationship with each other is really cool. Obviously, you've got a wide array of villains as well. You've got obviously like the initial one, which is Hisoka, who's like a very interesting, like mysterious character, I suppose, a creepy one as well at that. And then you've got like Crawler, who's also really cool. You've got the Chimera Ants, like yeah, so many cool characters in that show. And yeah, the way they once again build the world, introduce new aspects of the power scaling as you go along and drip feed you as you go along. Yeah, it's so cool. And like the way the tone shifts as well as you go along, it's a lot more light-hearted, like in the initial Hunter exam arc, and then it gets more serious as you go along, and then eventually when you're in the Chimera Ant arc, it's a lot darker tone.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, so cool, Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, man. I think what initially the biggest gripe I've heard with people say is like, oh, it's so childish. And I'm like, how many episodes are you in? And I'm like, oh, I'm about like 5. And you're like, yeah, bro, it's supposed to be. You're seeing it through the eyes of a kid. Once you almost understand it retrospectively, it makes it brilliant, you know.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. It's not a slow show even at all.
One thing I love about like certain shows like this is even like the obscure characters are like cool. Man, you know what I love? You know the Rookie Crusher?
Yes! Yeah, Tompa. Yeah.
Tompa-san. Oh, what a legend. Literally his purpose is just to stop all the other entrants from like passing the exam.
I'm trying to be like Tompa for real.
What a legend, Tompa-san. That's hilarious. Have you seen like there's an edit on YouTube where it's Tompa versus Meruem?
No.
Have you not seen it? Oh, I'll send you it after this. It's so funny.
Who would win that? I wonder.
Oh, of course, Tompa. And even some of the Chimera Ants, that you get attached to them as well.
Yeah.
Like as you learn their backstories. Like you remember Icalgo, the like octopus squid thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not to spoil too much, but yeah, you realize that like villains aren't always villains. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then obviously you got Meruem and Komugi's story as well.
Yeah.
You know, man.
Peak,
in the fields. You know.
Peak.
Right, man. And then we have number 1, Attack on Titan. Yeah, not much needs to be said about this show. Like,
I think my only thing is, why is this over Hunter x Hunter?
I think it's better. Like, I just do think it's better. I think I was more gripped by that show. I think the storytelling was better in terms of they didn't waste any time at all in that show. Every aspect of it had a purpose. I feel like certain episodes, especially in Chimera and Arc, you had like a whole episode where they're like in one room and they've ran about 5 meters.
That's brilliant, though. That's brilliant.
Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like Attack on Titan, they fill everything, and everything's so well.
There's a lot of
subtle
nuance.
Yeah, exactly. And the way they do like foreshadowing with certain reveals, and then when you look back at it and they think, okay, they've actually been throwing the hints here very subtly, like seasons ago. It's like obviously really cool with the characters, really cool with the world. Obviously, it's like not a traditional shonen anime. You have like these walls, and there's an element of mystery where you're not sure what's going on outside these walls. They're just told we can't leave. There's going to be these big titans that are going to eat you, but then you don't know anything more. And the way they kind of like develop on the story as these characters learn more, see more of the outside world, and learn more about it, and then the way they gradually do this season by season, it's so cool. And once again, introduces an element of like politics in it with the walls. Obviously, then you've got, when you go to Mali, you've got the kind of prejudice, racism with the internment zone and everything. There's so many aspects of like everyday life that translates to this show. But the way they just do it and tell the story and put everything together, and the way when they do these big reveals, they are mind blowing. Like when I saw like certain Titan reveals, certain like flashbacks from the past and the future, I'm like, this is absolutely incredible. I remember like very vividly like watching that for the first time. Like, this is incredible. I'm like, this is amazing. Like nothing I've ever seen before. So yeah, Attack on Titan for me is the #1 anime. So what are your boys' general thoughts on the 9?
Noah? No, I'll let you take the floor.
Okay, well, I will only take the floor for a little bit of time because I have not watched any of these to the completion.
What?
I have
Not even Vinland Saga?
not even. I told you I've not watched Vinland Saga.
No, you are.
What?
You are not an anime.
You're cosplaying Thorfinn. What do you mean you've not seen Vinland
I
Saga?
have not. I told you. I've said this on a podcast already with you. I have not seen Vinland Saga. I got in and I got bored of it within the first like 5 episodes. I couldn't get attached to it. I don't know how many times I restarted Vinland Saga to try and get hooked, and I couldn't get it. But that being said, right, I'm gonna preface this because both of you have got your hands in your face, right? I have got it on my notes as the next one to start. That and then Attack on Titan are my next two.
I think you have to watch Attack on Titan. Like you have to watch it. Yeah.
Oh, the little celebration.
Those are my next two. Now I don't know in what order, but those are the next two that I'm going to go on to. I got 15 into Hunter x Hunter, but I will say the only reason why I stopped watching that was because I was trying to pick it up whilst I was really deep in One Piece, and I couldn't. I wanted to put all my time in One Piece. There was like a whole year I didn't watch any other anime apart from One Piece. So I've only been watching anime for a few years, and one whole year was only One Piece. So
That's
in terms of my roster, I think I've only watched like 21, 22 animes. So like genuinely, I've not watched that many, because I've spent the majority of my time just watching One Piece.
Damn, average One Piece fan, man.
Like, yeah,
I know. That is why I'm going to preface. My list is going to be wildly different from these two boys.
One Piece season 1, One Piece season 2.
Yes. each arc and it's different.
Yeah. What are your general thoughts on the list generally?
I think this is a pretty based list, to be fair. I think genuinely, like, this is... There's a lot of variation in here. Like, you didn't just go for, like, the biggest shows of all time. Like, I think Steins Gate is, like, an incredible show. I think Monster's incredibly underrated. Code Geass is, I think it's a great show. It's not for me personally, but I think
all these three are underrated shows at the bottom.
Yeah, I would say your top 6 as well. Like, yeah, like it's pretty respectable. I wouldn't, especially for like all the sort of reasons given as well. I don't think I'm probably even going to elaborate mine too much because I wouldn't even say in terms of like peak shows. I just kind of went for like what I like.
So did I.
Go for it. So what we'll do is, if you've overlapped, just no need to talk about what we've already talked about, but just talk about the ones we haven't talked about.
I've not got a single one the same.
Okay, good.
I do, but I want Noah to go first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, if I share screen, bang, bang. Can you see?
Yep.
Right. So, I think it's coming up here.
Interesting.
Wait.
Man, you are getting cancelled.
Lulox second?
Yes, so you're gonna have to listen to me, right? My favorite thing is
stinky.
Can I fucking speak? I love sports anime, right? It's my thing. In terms of, I'm going to start with number 9 and work my way up, right?
Sure.
That's what we're all doing. So, number 9, I didn't want to have this in. I had everything from 4 further along because I wanted silent voice, but we weren't allowing movies. So, I thought the next best would have been Tokyo Ghoul, specifically season 1. I think after that, it just got shit. But
Yeah.
even that, like, I don't want it on my list. Like, I've got a tattoo of it. Didn't enjoy the anime that much. Like,
Mate, it isn't in my top 50 anime.
like I've
Yeah,
not watched that
well.
many, so I'm really pulling from my arse crack here. So, number 8, Nana. I think in terms of what I've started to enjoy a lot more is like the early 2000s animation. And I'm really enjoying like music, which is why you'll see Beck at number 3, but I'll get into that. I think that the way that Nana progresses is very, it takes quite a turn where I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. I was expecting it to be quite a just a chill, nice to watch one, but the tone really shifts quite fast, especially around halfway through. Cam, do you know what like happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the tone really changes, and it stops at around about chapter 40, and then the person who wrote it, Aya Yazawa, I think her name was, or something like that, she got ill, so the manga's never actually finished, and it stopped in 2010. So I caught up on what happened in the manga, and it's nuts. Like this is one of the animes that I've watched, and I've genuinely been sat there after I finished, caught up with the manga, just been sat there thinking like, what did I watch? What do I do now? Like, I had been so attached to the characters, the storyline, that it went. So that's why that's number 8. Number 7, Demon Slayer, simply for the fact that I really enjoyed like the bigger fights. So when it comes to what's coming up in Infinity Castle, I'm excited for that. The fight, Mugen Train.
Hasn't happened yet.
No, and oh my god, you're on my arse. Fucking hell, I'm like fighting both these. Mugen Train.
I didn't say anything, bro.
Mugen Train. I really enjoyed Mugen Train. I also enjoyed the fight with the brother and sister. I can't remember the guy's name. The one that
Season
was,
2.
yeah.
Gyotaro and Maki, is it?
Gyotaro, King of Men Physique. Yeah.
Really, yes. I really enjoyed that fight. I liked the annoying characters that everyone else hated, so I enjoyed that. Now, like I say, if we're doing a top 9 and I've only watched 20 odd animes, I've not got that much to pick from.
Yeah, so I actually think Demon Slayer is a little bit overhated, but I think it's become popular to hate Demon Slayer now, and I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I think it's good. I think top 7 anime is crazy having Demon Slayer in there.
Listen,
no. I want to push back on that. No, I'll give you some inch leeway. Demon Slayer, when it is good, like when it's very good, it's peak. I think there are some actual legitimate peak anime moments that come out in Demon Slayer. However, I think it's far and few between.
It's too surface level. There's not enough depth to the show as a whole, and which just makes it fall a little bit flat for me as a whole.
Sometimes I don't need that though.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much...
if you want to be a top 7 anime, you need some substance to it.
Okay, yeah, but sure. I don't disagree the fact that Attack on Titan, Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, everything like that is probably astronomically clear of what I've got of all of mine apart from number 1. But I ain't watched it, so I can't judge that. You know?
Fair enough.
I do agree with you to an extent. Like, I definitely think, like I said, you want different shows for different reasons. Like sometimes you just want to fucking mate. What's the fight between Tengen and Corey Morris? I forgot what his name was.
Is that the Entertainment District?
Gyotaro, Entertainment District.
Yeah, like watch that fight. If you're not even a fan of anime, watch that fight. Tell me that is not fucking beautiful. Like I said, like, the show's good.
It's peak animation. It is peak
pulls a lot of people that aren't into anime into anime. I think you've got to respect that as well. I think Demon Slayer is good. I think it's massively overhated. I can see it being in a top 9. To be honest, I debated whether I'd put it in mine or not. It wouldn't be a top 9. It would be a top 20, just for that reason of like when it's good, it's great.
I'd have it top 40 maybe, top 30 or 40 maybe.
See, I've got the list of ones that I've watched right here. You can't see us because I've got my notes and I'm only showing the tab. Like, if I was to put anything else above this, you'd have been like, Noah, get a grip. So I'm not having any slander. Number 6, Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, I used to use Todo edits for my presets in the gym. I think he's the most sick cunt ever. Yeah, fuck it. I was sitting trying to play around with like my favorite characters, or as a framework of this. He's up there. I enjoyed it. The Shibuya incident was great. I really enjoyed the final fights with him, Mahito, and Itadori. I thought that kind of dynamic, and I just enjoyed it. It was nothing too deep. I think that what's his name?
That was a peak moment when they were having that fight, and then the locket opened, and then the Takada-chan song came on.
Yeah, mate, it's when it dropped on the floor.
Yeah.
Well, I think that who's the I can't remember his name at all, but it's my I prefer the movie out of the everything. The main guy who's meant to be the main
guy. What's he called again?
I can't remember.
I've not seen Zero. I've not seen the movie. I knew it.
No, you need to watch it.
The movie. I know I need to.
Rika's the girl. No, Rika's the girl.
Yeah, no, I know Rika's the girl, but I'm trying to remember who the guy is called. Yuta.
Yeah.
I think he's so cool.
He is cool.
He's so cool.
Cam, you need to watch you need to watch the movie because it's actually canon. It's canon.
I know the movie's canon. Is the movie? It's after season 2, right?
No, it's before.
No,
it's literally number 0 and it came before the anime.
It came before season 1.
So whenever you start, they've got the second years. They're in first year in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't even know that. No. I've watched all the season 1.
You need to watch it.
From what I've been told, I'm pretty sure that the author intended for Yuta to be the main character.
Yeah.
But then it ended up being that Itadori was a bit more
cool.
Yeah, it kind of just worked a bit better for the
story. I prefer Yuta.
Yeah, so did I. I think he's well sick. Yeah. So for those reasons, that's why. So then now we've got top 5. Number 5, Haikyuu. I enjoyed the. Listen, this is the only anime I've went to go and see in a cinema. I know. I enjoyed just the feel good element of it. I didn't need to think too much. I could put it on and I could just relax, watch some ginger guy play volleyball.
That's why you like it.
Exactly.
He's short ginger man.
Me and my twin. It was nice. It was enjoyable to watch. There was nothing like I had to overly think about the deep lying themes.
Nothing happens.
But you know what? I didn't want anything to happen. I just wanted to see some ginger folk slap a ball. But the first episode hooked me. I think that this sounds bad, but one of the best bits of animation was when Hinata's come across. And neither of you have seen it, have you?
I have.
So you know the first episode, whenever he's against Kageyama's high school, and he comes across, and it's like almost like manga slow motion when he's in air about to get it, and it goes out. That one instantly was like, oh fuck, the animation's really cool in this. And for something that like volleyball, I remember saying when I was getting recommended, I was like, oh, shite, I don't want to watch volleyball. I'll tell you what, it got me. It really got me. So I've got that at 5th. Thoughts? I mean, no, I'm not actually going to ask for thoughts.
I mean,
I can't comment because I haven't seen it, but I know a lot of people that say it's like peak is Haikyuu. So
it's a good sports anime. It got me into volleyball. You know, like
I've heard a lot of people say it's like the best sports anime. A lot of people that I know have said that.
No, I have the best sports anime on mine, but we'll get into that.
Okay. Number 4. Thank you, Cam. Samurai Champloo. I really the main thing for me is the music. I'll be completely real. The music absolutely makes this anime for me. I think the 3 characters are really likable. I think the twist at the end, I was crying at the end. The music just made every single like fight scene, just everything a lot more. It just pulled me a bit more. And considering I listened to the music before and then I didn't know it was with that anime, and then listening to it and it's like Aurelian Dance is playing. Yeah. I'm like, holy fuck, I didn't realise that it was from that. Everyone just thinks of Vinland Saga and Vagabond when they hear that music because of TikTok edits or whatever. But mate, Samurai Champloo, I'm like, holy shit, this is where it's from. That anime, outstanding. Had I not watched Beck prior, would have been top 3 probably, because I think Samurai Champloo, really good. I think that the ending, as much as I did cry, it somewhat confused me a little bit. I'm
There's
not
one
gonna,
part that is like you're like,
yeah,
what? And then like
I
you're like,
I
okay.
didn't, yeah, I didn't really understand a certain part of it, but like plot armor in it, it happens. Everyone's got but plot armor, but outstanding watch. Really, really enjoyed it. Now top 3. I know Cam started this, and I mentioned this in the last pod I was on. Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad. I have just got the first 5 volumes of the manga through. It is in French, which I didn't realize,
Is
but
it?
yeah. So I got it from a second-hand eBay place. But I thought, listen, it's like £4 a volume. I couldn't care less. I'll
Yeah.
see what it is. But in terms of just put it on, it's a boy Koyuki who just wants to be in a band. It feels good. It feels nostalgic, even though like
Yeah.
I was never into like bands growing up. It just brought me back for somehow. I feel like the relationship development in that through Koyuki. I think that the backstory behind the guitar, like Lucille,
Yeah.
you obviously you meet different people. I don't know how far in are you, Cam?
I'm far enough to feel what you're saying.
Yeah,
Again, I couldn't tell you what fucking episode. I think I'm on like episode like 9.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's that long. I think it's maybe 20 odds.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really just nice watch.
Yeah.
And again, like for someone who's enjoying the early 2000s art style, and it's quite like obviously Nana's about a band for those that don't understand. It's like one of the girls is part of a band, and it's about like interrelationships within that. And I again like the kind of band genre. I watched Beck first, and I was like really enjoyed it. Then I got to watch Nana. I really enjoyed that as well. So I think music wise, I'm really enjoying there. And then that's when it recommended K-On, but I've not watched that obviously. But yeah, I chat GPT'd what do I watch next if I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Beck really enjoyed it. Like not many people know about it. The manga art is beautiful. I've actually not said to Cam, I'm planning on possibly adding that down here, getting possibly getting Lucille the guitar
Oh hell yeah.
like as a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
pop up. So again, like I really really enjoyed it, and again top 3 for a reason. And then number 2, massively debated here and despised by both of you two for having it this high up probably.
Fucking stupid take, mate.
I
Like,
listen,
stinkiest take on the
listen.
pod.
Okay, I'm gonna take you all on because I grew up playing football my whole life. Honestly, my whole life. I love football my whole life. I then went on to play football, and I love football with all my heart. Right. I have watched Awashi. I have watched Inazuma 11 when I was younger. And for me, Blue Lock and just the last season, really enjoyed it. I'm so invested in the characters. And I know I probably shouldn't include the manga in my opinion, but because I'm fully caught up on the manga, which is like probably 2 seasons ahead of what the anime is, I can't help but have that as somewhat of an influence. I fucking love it. It is really, really good. I feel like the characters, whilst there's not stakes like there maybe is for like Attack on Titan, or it's not as emotionally moving as Vinland Saga, or it's not as cool concept as Hunter x Hunter. For me, like a lot of my things that I like is just a bit of mind numb. Like I don't want to think too much when I watch some things, and I think for the pretty much the majority of these, I'm not having to think a whole lot. So that for me is why number 2. And again, my second favorite character is from that. So take that for what you will. And then number 1, obviously, peak
One.
piece, One Piece. It is the best thing on the planet. You two can argue with each other. I know I've got Derek to back me up. I was messaging him. Obviously, he was like, mate, should have been able to defend it with me. But shout out Derek, because I know that you're a One Piece man as well. One Piece, number 1. No arguments. Don't even need to get into that. It is just so clear. Luffy the GOAT. Boom. There you go.
I would have, if it went to like 15, I probably would have had it there in the top 15, I think, so far. But
Yeah.
as I get further into it, it might go up my list, to be fair. So I am enjoying it. Yeah.
Are you still at Alabasta?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
that can drag out a bit, to be fair. But
Yeah.
for me, and I'm prefacing this at the end, I spent a whole year only watching One Piece, and I had only picked up anime again in 2020, the end of 2022. I literally watched my first episode of this on the flight home from Japan. So I was like, oh, they seem to like this over there. I think I should probably watch it. And from that, I was hooked. So that's why the list is so mental, because again, some pretty rogue shouts, but I'm gonna leave it, and then I'm gonna let you.
Cam, what do you think about the list?
I'll say this: One Piece is as popular as it is for a reason. I definitely think out of all like the top 5 biggest shows in the world, it's the best. I would say for like Dragon Ball, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, and then fucking I don't know what another like I think those are like the big 4. But I would say One Piece definitive. The only problem is with One Piece is there's so much of it, and when there is so much, there's almost so much more to critique. But I don't really think there's any objectively bad part of One Piece. I think certain parts are just better than others, but it's all good. It's just it's so fucking vast and expansive and different from one another that there's just quite a lot to remember. But there's a lot of content there, and if you're able to if you have a year to dive into a show, I should at some point. I
will definitely.
Like,
yeah.
Right. Okay. And now finally we have mine. So
also, before we get into this, Ian, Talbot Bar, if you're watching this, can you please comment your true feelings on Noah's list?
Ian, give me a break, right? Stop
be as
slandering me.
brutal as possible,
Ian,
please.
I get it, you don't like me, but come on.
I'm sorry, but nah, that list deserves some slander.
So what considering what I've, do you want me to tell you what I've watched?
Sure, go for it.
Then you can go.
Tell me the other ones that you haven't listed.
Yeah, sound. Yeah. So obviously, like I mentioned, I've watched My Hero when I was first getting into it.
Yeah.
My Hero is objectively a better show than Blue Lock, for sure.
For what I enjoyed, Solo Leveling.
I might have it in. I wouldn't.
Solo Leveling does not do nothing, bro.
Awashi.
I haven't seen it.
No.
My Love Story. Have you ever seen that? Oh, it's fucking unreal. Have you seen it, Cam? It's like the big lipped, like guy from high school, and he's like, what's his name?
Hang on.
Can't remember his name.
I have. It's in my top. It's in my fucking There we go. Yeah, bro. Listen, it's peak.
It's not in my top 9, but I really enjoyed it.
No, it's peak. It's peak, bro.
yes.
Yeah.
Spy Family.
Spy Family's fucking way better than Blue Lock. Are you kidding me?
I've only watched the first season though.
Bro, Spy Family.
I've heard the second season isn't good.
No. All of Spy Family. All Spy Family touched my heartstrings, bro. Like.
So after I've watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners, but I can't remember a thing of that.
What? That's better than almost all of your lists.
Yeah, mate, that one anime of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I didn't enjoy it that much. It was David was the guy's name.
That's better than every single one of the anime on your list, other than maybe 3 of them.
Pokemon based, but I wouldn't count Pokemon.
Nah, leave Pokemon out.
I watched a bit of Horimiya.
I haven't seen it.
Horimiya.
A romance one. Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. Chainsaw Man's sick. Baki is sick, yeah.
Sakamoto Days.
Sakamoto Days is fucking sick.
It's better than... Sakamoto Days is better than a few of the ones you had.
You should have redone your list with some of those there. It would have been a lot more.
You're just fucking hating on me. This is a subjective list right here.
No.
And it's subjectively fucking terrible.
Yes.
To be honest.
Fuck you.
What we're gonna do is you boys download it, and I'm gonna post it on the AniGains Instagram. Each of our
No,
grids. I am.
I'm gonna get fucking flamed.
No, download it and put it to the AniGains drive, and I'm gonna post it to the Instagram.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think we can do that, and I'm willing to back up some of mine here. So again, some of these have been mentioned, so I'm not going to go into them in too much detail.
Oh, you get Chainsaw Man.
Having Chainsaw Man is crazy.
That's
Why is it crazy?
It's
It won Anime of the Year.
Midsommar, man.
Okay, why is it bad?
It's just like the sexual humor, in my opinion, it throws me out of it. Like it gets too over the top, and I'm like, this is just getting too much now, and I'm not even in the story anymore because it's a bit over the top, and I feel like it relies too much on like trying to be funny when
Which it
it's
is.
supposed to be. It's a little bit, but then it's like, okay, this is too much now. Like, just get to the actual story.
It does get to the actual story. It is
like
incredibly fast-paced and surreal as
the fact
fuck.
that you've gotten that on there and not Jujutsu Kaisen is crazy.
Because I think it for what Chainsaw Man is and for what Chainsaw Man does.
It's a similar concept to Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's
No, it's
way
not.
worse. It's way worse.
How is it a similar concept?
The style
Jujutsu
of the
Kaisen's
show,
so much better than Chainsaw
the
Man.
style of the show. Is
I'm
They're
gonna-
not.
I'm
They're
gonna
not
keep that
comparable. First of all,
They are.
No, they're not. Because Chainsaw Man is not really a Shonen Jump anime.
Hold on, we were comparing everything for mine. We're holding you to the same.
Yeah.
All right, Sam.
That's a
No,
terrible,
but
terrible.
you're like, oh well, Jujutsu Kaisen's best. They're not even fucking comparable, bro. First of all, like if you want to talk about shonen anime and what they do,
when it came out, a lot of people were comparing it to Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon
because
Slayer.
they were coming out at the similar times. But in terms of content, they are not comparable. First of all, right, I do want to preface this by saying I've seen far more anime than both Noah and Kez. First of all, okay,
which makes it even worse than you've got it on this list.
It doesn't, because you need to think, right? What makes a show special? What do all of these shows have in common is that none of them have anything in common, really. They are all unique, and what they do best is, they all excel very well in individuality. They all bring something different to the table. For Chainsaw Man, it is an incredibly surreal show, right? For those of you who don't know what Chainsaw Man is about, it is about demons. It is about devils getting into the world and basically devil hunters, which is, I'll concede, is similar to Jujutsu Kaisen in terms of the plot element, but in terms of storytelling, it's completely different. Because in terms of varied characters, backstories, how fights go, the lack of just straight power scaling within the anime, I do like. There's no system of power, there's no unit of measurement. They are just straight fights. I think the show doesn't take itself too seriously at times, but then other times you can see it's pretty dark. I think it's incredible. I think there's one character in particular, Maki, who I think in terms of manipulation and in terms of genius foretold is incredibly good. Neither of you two have read the manga, have you?
I started reading a bit after where the anime stopped, but I didn't get too far.
Okay. I think okay, all right. I would genuinely, it's one of those, it's like I became obsessed with the manga first and foremost. I almost didn't put it on, but it's the same reason I don't actually have Vinland Saga on here is because I consider Vinland Saga to be a manga before an anime because I just got into the manga beforehand. But in terms, the animation from this show is beautiful. Even the opening theme alone, I would argue is one of the best anime opening themes of all time.
Kickback is outstanding. I used to use that for my leg extension sets.
Yeah. It's one of the best anime openings of all time.
You should have done it for the kickback. You should have done a kickback to kickback.
Yeah, you should have done it for your cable kickbacks, bro.
Yeah,
bro.
Okay, so number 8, Attack on Titan. Now, the reason why this is
quite low for you.
Very low.
It's low. I don't think it's very. It's still top fucking 10.
You've got My Love Story over that.
Yeah, I'll explain why. Because
mate, I'm putting this poll. I'm putting our ones up, and I'm putting a poll on AniGains, and I'm going to see who's.
That's fine, bro.
I'll be honest. I think that I've not watched Attack on Titan, but I'll still, even if I did watch it, My Love Story would probably be better. Have you seen it, Qais?
No.
There is no fucking way you two are about to compare Attack on Titan to My Lobster. They have fuck all in common, right? Like, no, shut up. The power scaling, bro. Shut up, man. Like,
to get higher up though.
listen, okay. The reason I didn't have it higher up is because I think Attack on Titan. I'll be honest, right? And this is going to be a controversial take, but Josh Campbell did make a decent point in terms of within season 2.
Do not turn on me now.
No, I'm not turning on. I'm just saying it does drag a bit. I stayed with it because I knew it was going to get, but I was not like at the edge of my fucking seat every episode.
I was.
I think season 1's really good, and I think season 3 and 4 are art, but I think season 2 is comparably so weak that it just didn't really do it for me.
So much. I think
season 2 is not the best season.
Attack on Titan is the most consistent show in any anime. It doesn't have misses. Like everything is filled with like something happening.
I would argue that would actually be, from what I can understand, I would actually argue that would be One Piece, to be honest.
No, I disagree. Even with One Piece, it does drag on with some episodes, and I'm like,
for the amount of volume it has.
No, it's great. Is One Piece, but I feel like with certain arcs that I've seen so far, I'm like, some of the episodes, I'm like, that was not needed. That episode. Like,
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. There's a lot of lore to be taken in on Attack on Titan, and I definitely feel like season 2 is just a bit slower. But I'm not saying it's bad. It's still in the top 9.
Look at what happened, mate. You have Emiya. Them in the Emiya being revealed as I don't want to spoil Noah. Then we got Reiner and Bertolt. Then we have the stuff with Historia finding out who she is. Then we got the Rod Rice stuff happening. And then what happened at the end?
It's a lot of talking and it's a lot of explanation for that. I just think it's not as gripping. I think it leads up to make it's necessary for a reason, right? Because without that I do get what you're saying. Without that information there, you would not have had those next banger seasons. But because it's just a little bit of a drag, you rewatch all of it and say it's as compelling as what happens in season 3 and 4. It doesn't, but it's necessary.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's not like nothing happened.
I'm not saying nothing happened. I didn't say that. I just said it's slower because it is.
If you compare to like what happens on One Piece episodes, that is way slower. A lot of them episodes, like not a lot happens in certain episodes in One Piece.
But One Piece is funny, bro. Either way, there's a reason this is in the top 9, right? Right. Number 7. We have Mob Psycho 100. So this is made by the same people that made One Punch Man, and it's a little different so far as Mob acts on surrealism, but it does take itself a bit more seriously. There is sort of less variation between powers within the characters. Mob is obviously just like a young. It sounds awful without context, but essentially he's a young school kid who gets his powers taken advantage of him by an older sort of con man. And he kind of just gets thrown into these odd jobs and forced to, sort of exercise demons. And it's just an incredible. It's I think the whole aspect of like how Mob's powers work specifically, like controlling and containing your emotions. I think, especially because it's also like a coming of age story, I think it's a really, really cool dynamic.
That's the aspect of it that I enjoy the most, actually.
Yeah.
The whole coming of age side of things and his relationships with like the other kids at school and how he like develops throughout that. That's one of the things that it makes him more relatable. Yeah,
it's more than just power scaling and good fights and funny moments. It's a story of like, coming of age, and you get to see all of the characters develop, in their own different ways. And I really like Mob. I really like the art style as well. I think the art style initially threw some people off because it's a bit ugly to look at, but it almost plays into that very well.
What are your thoughts on Dimple?
Dimple's the goat, man.
Dimple's the goat. Dimple's the
goat, man. Like, yeah, man. Like, in terms of like seedy ass motherfuckers that are not actually that evil, Dimple. Yeah, for sure. All right, number 6, we have Kengan Ashura. So this is what I would consider to be the counterpart to Baki.
Do you know who recommended this show to me?
Was it Fildo?
No.
Because I know that Fildo's a big fan.
Christian James, the head judge of the UKTFP.
Really?
Mate, I was watching like Naruto and I put it on my story. And I like, literally replied to it saying, "You ever watched Kengan Ashura?" I'm like, no. It's like, you should watch it, mate.
I can understand why. For him in particular, the physiques in this show.
Yeah.
Not like legit embarrassing fact. This show got me into bodybuilding. Straight up. Like, Kengan Ashura is basically, it combines my two favorite things in anime: fighting and tournaments. So basically, these big company shareholders, these big CEOs, all get together for a contest of power to kind of decide who gets to build land where, how certain trade negotiations go down. And the way that they settle these kind of disputes is by selecting a champion fighter and having them basically combat against a rival company's champion fighter. And where they attain these fighters from is really, really varied. So if you're into martial arts, they take like different martial artists. They take, say, like different combat styles of fighting. There's like, say, one guy who's like a super rogue, off-the-cuff police officer, you know, going up against a jujutsu expert, you know, going up against, you know, somebody else who's like, you know, I don't know, like an underground mercenary for hire. You know, like you've got all these different characters coming out of the woodwork and basically battling. And it's kind of what got me into, one, physique development, but two, competing as well. If you're like, need a testosterone boosting, feel good fighting fucking anime, this is the one. And the reason why it's a little bit better compared to Baki is because Baki, it feels like every character's more or less the same, like sort of like sneer type, I'm gonna come and beat you up and I'm evil and jacked. And this is a little bit different. Everybody's got their own reasons for fighting, and for that reason I want to put it to the top because it's kind of similar to competing. Everybody's got their own different reasons to compete, right? All of our reasons for why we step on stage are different. We all meet up at the same point with the one goal to get to be the strongest, and that speaks to my competitive drive just differently. The only reason it's in 6th and not higher up is because the animation is different. Like, it's like a 3D art style, which if you're not a fan of, it can throw you, but I think it is necessary for how, if you're a fan of martial arts, how it actually does show and display the fights. So number 5, we have Or Montogari, otherwise known as My Love Story.
I've never seen it.
It's fucking great.
I've never even heard anything about it.
It's my favorite romance anime by a fucking country mile. So something very different.
Yeah.
It's about this big fucking dude here. You know, the guy with the big lips and the big eyebrows?
Yeah.
He falls in love with the girl.
Takumi, was it? Or
Yeah. Or Tanaka or something.
Yeah.
He's a big fucker navigating Japan. He stands out like a sore thumb. And it's basically him understanding love. It's a very wholesome show. There's a lot of stuff that happens. It is sort of like a coming of age thing. And it's a little relatable. I'm not going to lie. I'm not genetically the most romantic man in the world. And I picked up a few lessons from it. It's about a man with very good intentions and sort of no obvious way to navigate himself in situation to situation. It kind of does teach you not to judge people by appearances, but by intent, and that actions will always speak louder from words. It's a great message. It's a great show. It's real, in terms of like lightheartedness, for like a romance anime, which is more than just does the boy get the girl, and more so how does a young person navigate their first relationship. I think it's for what it is, it's peak, like in terms of what it's trying to tell. So yeah, fucking brilliant show. Top 5 anime, legit. Number 4, JoJo's Part 3 specifically. I don't want to give away any spoilers, man. JoJo's is JoJo's.
Please don't give away spoilers because I'm
watching it now. All I'm saying is Part 3 is in my opinion, it's the best part. Every episode is a banger. The introduction of stands, the villains. How every episode will have you fucking on the edge of your seat or just pissing yourself laughing, bro. It's an incredible show, man. Like, I recommend both of you watch part 3. No, if you've not ever even seen JoJo,
I'm just watching it in order, so I'm just gonna watch
yeah,
it
yeah,
from
yeah.
the beginning to it.
No, you have my green lit permission to part skip and just get into part 3.
Okay.
You really, like, if you're not sure about anything, look it up afterwards. But like you'll be able to follow along the story from part 3. To be honest.
So watch that before Attack on Titan, or what am I getting set
No,
next?
no.
What am I getting told to watch
Attack on
next?
Titan.
No,
Attack
watch
on
JoJo's.
Titan. Come on, man.
JoJo's
sorry,
it's shorter. It's shorter. Like,
yeah, but
you could take it in, and you can get into Attack on Titan. You can sink your teeth.
But the thing is, we're gonna say that every time. You're gonna watch some anime that's easier to digest, and you're just gonna keep saying it, and he's gonna keep putting Attack on Titan. You cannot put Attack on Titan off. You need to watch it.
Well,
How long is it though?
Not that.
it's fucking long.
It's like 50 episodes, I think, in total. It's not that long.
Yeah, well, part 3 is like 20 something, and it's funnier.
And I don't need to know anything going into that.
No, not really. Not really. You can do, but I think there's like a couple things that like will maybe go over your head, but like because it has the introduction of stands, you can just start from part 3. To be honest,
I think I'll go for Attack on Titan first. I'll be real. I've slandered it too much to not watch it.
I think you'll enjoy JoJo's more, but
really,
yeah.
Based on what you like, I think you might like it more, but just watch Attack on Titan and pay attention to what's going on. You can't. It's not an easy watch. You need to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, you do need to lock in. JoJo, you can almost like JoJo will have you paying attention, if that makes sense. You know.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Number 3, the best sports anime of all time, Inazuma 11. For fucking sure. Legit clears it. This anime got me into football. Well, for the time period in which I was watching Inazuma 11. Got me into fucking football. Absolutely loved this show. Peak. Haitsu techniques were involved. It's basically just a story of a... how old are they even? Are they in like fucking secondary school or something? It's about a school football team. Listen, just watch a YouTube essay on the brilliance of Inazuma 11. I remember watching this when I was a kid and thinking this is peak, and then I rewatched it again when I was like 22, and I was like, nope, it's actually, if anything, it's better. It's storytelling, character development, character motifs. It is a children's anime, but honestly, mate, I would say objectively it's the best sports anime of all time in terms of how it portrays sport as well.
Better than Hajime no Ippo?
No. But I preferred this one. I would say in terms of a sports anime, Hajime no Ippo is better.
Mm-hmm.
But I prefer this one.
Okay.
I can't, and to all, like, a lot of that is nostalgia bias as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot. But yeah, dude, I would say this one it's funner than Hajime no Ippo as well.
Yeah.
Like, funner.
But I watched that growing up when as well, to be fair, Inazuma 11.
Yeah.
Again, I was so young, I can't really remember anything.
Yeah.
Same with like Dragon Ball, Naruto, and Avatar. I watched that, but I can't remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then finally, Hunter
the
x Hunter and Samurai Champloo. I think if you've taken anything from listening to the AniGains podcast, Hunter x Hunter and Samurai Champloo are peak. Kez, you've not seen Samurai Champloo, have you?
I will watch it. Yeah,
you need to, like legit,
yeah.
like.
I
will. Very different from like a lot of the other shows. Did you like Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah,
this is made by the same people, and I would say it's considerably better.
Okay.
Like considerably better. Yeah, art style, animation. If you're a fan of hip hop culture, specifically like the kind of Nas era of hip hop, mate, that show's the one. Hunter x Hunter, I'll say it a million times till I'm blue in the face. Peak. Don't believe me? Go ahead, watch it. Yeah, man, and this is definitively my 9 by 9. Which
so as we mentioned, what we're gonna do, we're gonna post these to Instagram. Well, you can comment here what you think, but we're also gonna do a post on Instagram with each of our 3x3 grids, and see what the people think. I'm gonna put a poll up as well.
What in terms of who's got the best taste?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sure. I'd definitely say yours. Yours is good, but I'd say yours is the safest.
Fair enough.
I think Noah's sucks, and
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
yeah. I think mine. I don't know. I think there's all something for everybody here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No
My
romance
only-
anime from you.
My only gripe is with Chainsaw Man. And yours.
So would you have that over Hajime no Ippo then?
Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
For what it does, yeah. Like I understand this list is like I am a fan of sports anime, but I think Inazuma 11 is a better sports anime. Well, I think it's a better show overall. But I would say that would be my representative sports anime one. Whereas Chainsaw Man's just, bro, read the fucking manga, bro. It's all I can say, man.
This isn't a manga ranking. This is an anime ranking.
Yeah, well,
They've got a
they're
setting
gonna
on
animate
that.
the next season, and I'm gonna tell you it's peak, bro.
We haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
Yeah, listen, you had Code Geass on your shit, bro.
Yeah, it's better than Chainsaw Man.
Stinky ass,
Significantly better than Chainsaw Man.
No, it's not, bro. Shut up. Code Geass
Oh.
ain't never won an award.
Man,
You know,
the
like-
youth of today.
Boys,
Oh,
I'm looking over my list. It is not as bad as you guys have been making out.
It
But
is.
pull it back up again. Hang on.
Like it's not as bad as you guys are fucking acting out.
Pull it back up again. It is, bro. It's shit.
Oh fuck!
Compared to all the other anime
Hold
that you
on.
listed.
If this is a subjective list, no.
It is, but I'm saying subjectively, the anime that you mentioned previously, bro.
So I think
Blue
that,
Lock in second is
I
just.
think that fair enough. You can have a gripe with this one, you can have a gripe with that one, and you can have a gripe with maybe these three, right?
So
but-
half the list.
In terms of what I've watched,
Yes.
but in terms of like yeah, I didn't want to put that in there.
Why didn't you put Hajime no Ippo then? It doesn't make any
I've
sense.
not watched Hajime no Ippo.
Why didn't you put Cyberpunk Edge Runners? It's a way better show.
But I had watched that. I think that was the same time as I watched my first ever anime. I think I watched that at the same time as I watched Baki.
Bro,
Like when I got back into anime.
Baki is
after,
better.
like in prep. So I wasn't really like I probably wasn't into anime that much by that point.
No, I'll give you one opportunity now. You can replace Tokyo Ghoul with one other show.
Okay, let me get my list up then.
Because there's no chance.
Mate, I've told you I didn't fucking want that thing. I mean, to be fair, like I
would
wanted
put Spy
Silent.
Family in there.
I wanted Silent Voice. Couldn't get that. Sakamoto Days. I've only watched 8 episodes of. Can't have that in.
It's still better than Tokyo Ghoul. But...
Horimiya. I only watched like the first season. I can't remember too much of that. Pokemon again. That is peak, but I'm not gonna have that in the list. Cyberpunk.
Edge Runners won Anime of the Year for 2023.
Yeah, but still, I didn't watch. Like I watched it, but again, I wasn't that into anime.
If you want to
better
keep
than
Tokyo
it-
Ghoul in there, like
Yeah,
then
just
do
keep
it,
it. It's
but,
fine. It's fine. Sweet.
Fuck yeah.
Stag ass list, boy.
Now that you've reminded me about my love story, man, I'm kind of gutted.
It's
Right
a
then.
fantastic show, isn't it?
It's fucking mint.
Kez, you
'Cause
should
I
get
think
into
the
that,
fact
Loki.
that you've reminded me of like how, like I remember. Do you remember the shop episode
I
when
do
she's
remember.
working?
Yeah.
She's working somewhere, and there's the guy that's there,
Oh,
and then he's like jealous, and he's like learning about how that is, and
how to actually navigate
Yeah.
jealousy within a mate. Especially as a kid when you watch that, bro. Because I think I was like 16, 17.
is it that long? Has it been out that long?
Yeah, man. Bro, it's an old ass show. You know, it came out when I was like, you know, a fucking big ass kid too. So, you know, it was relatable, man. Like, I just stuck with me for a reason. I had that same haircut and everything. You know? Yeah, man.
Here's the boy.
All right then. It's your wrap up. Nearly 2-hour
Yeah.
podcast.
Should we
We're
separate
gonna have
it
to
into
split this
2
up.
parts? Yeah.
What's that? How are we gonna
We'll
do that though?
The
It'll be
Arnold in
weird.
one, the 3x3 in the other.
Yeah, but how are you gonna? It'll be quite disjointed, I think, in terms of how
So
how you
we
intro
didn't-
it.
We didn't really like reference the Arnold's after we stopped talking about it. To be fair,
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we can split it into two
I'll
parts.
see what I can do in terms of editing.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'll do the Arnold's first because that's freshest. What I
Yeah,
might then do, I might then do Derek,
And then have
podcast,
this the
and
week
then-
after.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler alert: Derek will actually do me.
Oh,
Very nice.
kind of hot, man. Kind of hot.
Pay to see that.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
All right then.
All right
So,
then.
Mr. Host.
All right then, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in to potentially the longest episode of the AniGains podcast. If we don't split it up into two different parts, but I have a very exciting announcement coming out soon, which I can't talk about. But for now, coaching slots are available. Head over to my link tree in my Instagram bio and hit the coaching application form. Taking on some new guys and gals at the minute. Super exciting time. And for the best gym clothing in the game, go to anabolicapparel.com. Use code CAMS. Save yourself 10% off. Show me a little screenshot of that, and I'll send you something cool as well. Fellas,
Send you some used underwear.
Yeah.
no, it depends who's using my code, bro.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So me, if you're looking to compete in men's physique this year or in the future, and you want to get your posing on point, you want to make your presentation is as good as possible, and you want to win shows, feel free to DM me on Instagram, Qais Butt _ or Qais Posing. So in terms of availability, my next availability will be from mid-April. So make sure you DM me as soon as possible. Other than that, chosen for you, the actual freshest arms in the game. Use Kes10, 10% off.
Beef.
And also, shout out Vaso as well. Buy Vaso board short.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big up Vaso Bald Shorts.
Yeah.
Ali Bilal.
Fuck you.
Fuck off, Ali Bilal. Prick. I'll beat you up, mate.
Putting this out.
Yeah. I wouldn't, for legal reasons, that is a joke. Yeah.
If you're wanting some lovely, the best supplements in the game, go over to Pit Stop Nutrition, use code NOAH10. Get yourself a bit of money off some Rise and Shine. You know, the peach flavoured creatine that Qais uses. Get yourself some money off.
It's tasty.
Exactly.
Especially
We've got
when
three
you dry
boys.
scoop it.
It is.
Exactly.
It's actually good when you dry scoop. Have you dry scooped it since?
No, not since.
Mate, it
no.
is lovely. It does just taste like fucking show. I could binge on that creatine. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, there you go. You've got a testament right there. If you're wanting to look good and have really based anime takes, apply for coaching in the link in my bio. Obviously, for the competitive season, for lifestyle clients, photo shoots, whatever you fancy, male and female, there are spaces open. So just drop me a message or follow the link, and your top 9 will look even better than mine. There you go.
Yeah, for real. That's really
Sick.
not hard, to be fair. That's not hard.
Fuck yous.
Yeah.
On that note.
On that note, boys, thank you all very much for joining us, and we will catch you for episode 9.
This could be 10.
No, this is 8. This is 8 part 2. Then we're gonna have 9, and then we're gonna have 10.
Sure. Well, catch us in the next one.
One of them.
Yeah, we'll be coming at you again real soon, and I might potentially have different hair depending on the upload schedule.
Yeah.
Cock, bro. That's gonna sound horrible on the mic. All right, okay, boys. See you again soon. Bye bye.
Catch.